BYDFi is a crypto exchange on desktop and mobile where you can spot trade, futures trade, use leverage tokens, and copy the trades of top traders. If you sign up with the link in the description, you get a free $100 when you deposit $100. There's hundreds of crypto available on their spot exchange, as well as a free test account so you can practice futures trading without getting wrecked. BYDFi. Hello everybody, welcome back. Let's have a look at these charts then, shall we? They're so boring, to be fair. Bitcoin effectively is no different to it's been this entire time. It's basically range bound, however it does favour downside at the moment based around this area on the chart. So really for any kind of bullish move, we want to see daily closures above 27,000 minimum, and ideally around 27,200. Simple as that. Closures above there on a daily is going to be great for further continuation up to the top of the range. I'm talking back up to 32,000, maybe even higher, but that's how it stands at the moment. Currently, we have an incoming death cross on Bitcoin's 4 hourly. It's not a good look for it, to be fair. And again, to counteract that, we need to get above 27,100 pretty quickly, ideally today. Looking at this on the 4 hourly as well, like I said, the 200 simple moving average has proven to be the resistance in the short term. So these sort of higher term moving averages being a bit of the, well, I mean, it's a deciding factor for it. Anyway, I'm not really going to talk about Bitcoin because it's no different to it is and has been all week. Sideways and down into major supports, and I should say they are major supports, and so if we're going to bounce, should bounce around those. And again, just to complement that, we've got obviously gold continuing with its run. We've got S&P again, a bit of a pullback, no big deal, a bit of a pullback. We'll see how that goes. Still relatively bullish on stocks in the short term, I have to say, until the top of this descending or this symmetrical triangle. So stocks seem relatively good. And Dixie, well, it was a final bounce from that 7 simple moving average, wasn't it? Personally, not really convinced that this has got any kind of legs to it. I think we fade this, which should, again, allow for gold, stocks, and hopefully Bitcoin to move up. Anyway, that's all out of the way. Let's think about one other thing. This is one of the better charts that I've been eyeing up here. INJ. So INJ just recently popped up to the top of the range on the 4 hourly chart, so the Bollinger Band top above all major moving averages. No death cross in sight on this one. This is great. We've looked at this one occasionally on the channel and recognised how good it is for using technicals. So it loves a chart. This one. This is like an Investopedia tutorial almost. It does everything that you'd want it to do. So symmetrical triangle broke down. Rising channel broke down, fake out, move up to the top, respecting all moving averages on the way up and on the way down. Golden cross retest, V-shaped recovery, surfing the 200 simple moving average and managing to gain support on it the entire time. No pump signal, obviously, on this one, but as far as trend is concerned, one of the better charts out there. So if the market does, for instance, decide that it wants to move up, this one should move up pretty significantly, back up to its previous local high, and beyond that, I would be looking. To be honest with you, you could easily target 10 from a spot trade perspective. But if you're a bit more conservative, we're probably talking the first major area on this one, just above the $8 zone, maybe a little higher around $8.50. And see where we go from there. So this one, like I say, is pretty good. Now, obviously, we've looked at the 4 hour, we've looked at the daily. 4 hourly doesn't have anything amazing going on outside of the general trend, which was a fresh golden cross on the exponentials and a lovely retest of that. So far, so good. Moving up to the Bollinger Band center, which is 753. Break that, should easily make its way up towards 8. That could happen. Well, I mean, to be fair, if the market continues the way it is, I know it's Friday the 13th as well, but if the Dixie rejects, which I think it is, and stocks and gold continue, and Bitcoin holds this price or moves up, if you can imagine that, then yeah, we'll see this one do very well. Either way, this is a really good looking chart on all time frames. It's not the best thing I've ever seen in the world, but I like the way that it respects its previous. You look back in time, and look at how it's performed in its own technicals. It's a gem. It's a gem. But for instance, if this breaks down, because we always got to consider that, because if the market breaks down, this will break down with it. Buy zones can be easily snagged on this one. First of all, the first one being around 680, and then into this major buy zone starting at 580 all the way down to 4. This would be a great long-term position, because as far as I can see here, this is one of those charts which actually looks like it's going to do very well this cycle. And so far, it's rallied all the way from $1 to a maximum of 10. Normally, when something does a 10x, I'd give it a wide berth, but considering the strength of the trend and the way that it's behaved throughout that process, I like it. I give it the royal seal of approval. And I'll tell you something, if there's any derivatives on any altcoin that I'll be doing outside of XRP and possibly Bitcoin, it would be this. I think this is the one. This would be a decent money maker. Not because it's looking for big moves up or anything like that, but because it respects its chart. And that's something that a lot of altcoins just don't do. They don't respect their own charts. They trend with the market, and it's like trading a proxy of Bitcoin. So this one is great. And I think this should really become like a relatively common addition on this channel, really, because as far as doing TA on things, we do this on the Patreon all the time. We're doing a Patreon tonight, by the way, but when we look at the Patreon channel, sometimes I'll be presented with a chart that's like maybe a few months old, or the volume on it is like less than 50 grand. And yeah, there is a chart. A chart exists, right? But it's not that relevant, because you need price, volume, and time for any indicator to have any relevance to it. And in the absence of any of those, because obviously you're going to get price on all these, but volume and time, that is like a lot of the time you just don't have that. And you just don't have that, especially on new charts. You don't have that. Volume is so low on a lot of these coins at the moment that effectively their charts are rendered high risk, just because I can't really trust what the indicators say, really. This one, regardless of the price, volume, and time, and it's not been around for too long. It's not the oldest chart in the world, but it's old enough to take seriously, and it's old enough to realise that it has respected TA throughout at least this portion of the bull market. So fair play. I'll be looking at this, I'll be trading this, and I'll be looking for this to make a break and hopefully make a few quid on this one. This might be my new favourite altcoin, to be fair. Yeah. Right, I'll leave it with you there. There's nothing much more to say. I'll see you on the live stream tonight, hopefully. Otherwise, take it easy.